I've been in business specializing in sales and marketing since 1980. I'm an executive coach, an international trainer and speaker, an author, a TV show host, husband, and father. Like many, I've experienced a freak accident and almost died from it. The impact from a hit to the back of my head dissected an artery in my brain, and a few days later, I had a significant cerebellar stroke. Since my stroke, I've been researching and seeking answers to many of the questions that come to light when you live through a traumatic event like this. I'll share what I've learned about living full out, how to prosper in difficult times. We'll talk about some current events and always end with some inspiration and encouragement that you just might need at this particular moment. This is Scott Schilling Speaks. Scott Schilling Speaks is powered by BeeKonnected, the premier online hub for business owners and professionals to connect and collaborate for greater success. To learn how BeeKonnected will help you and your business, go to bkfreefor3.com. Hello and welcome everybody to Scott Schilling Speaks. I'm Scott Schilling. Thanks for joining me here today. Tremendously excited to have a great friend here and somebody who has just launched and created an truly exciting company. CEO, co-founder, Tonya Hofmann. Tonya, welcome to Scott Schilling Speaks.
I love being here with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, this is so fun. So again, for all these folks listening here, what is BeeKonnected?
You know, it's one of those kind of moments in life when you realize that so many people, especially during the pandemic right now, right, really needs to be connected. And when I started looking at, oh my gosh, this is the perfect moment when people are struggling, they need some help. And I know for myself over these many years of growing businesses over and over again, the most important thing was always building relationships and truly connecting to the most amazing people on the planet. And so that's really what BeeKonnected is all about, you know, and having a team that really brings it all together is also, you know, really so vital.
It's so exciting to hear what you're doing. And really the world is fairly disconnected right now, right?
You know, that's a perfect. So the disconnect for almost everyone is now everyone's stuck at home. They can't go to networking. They can't go to a conference. They can't go around the planet and do anything, or even out of just in their local area. And so when you start looking at how can you make an impact, truly, how can people make an impact? And it's always about finding someone new, finding someone amazing, someone that's willing to be helpful and have a win-win scenario. That's so vital, especially at this point.
Yeah, you know, I think with especially the authorities saying things like we need to social distance. I know on a earlier show I said I'm not social distancing. I'm physical distancing. We have to be safe.
Yes.
But social distancing, we're social beings. That's a big part of what's going on at BeeKonnected, isn't it?
You know, when you get a chance to connect to somebody, there's multiple things that happen. It's not just, and that's what a lot of times people don't realize. They are used to, when I had retail stores many moons ago, people would walk in to buy something. Well, now people are expecting that to happen every time they talk to somebody instead of looking at what the ripple effect will have. How can you have one time and moment in life, connect to somebody new, and then watch that ripple effect to media opportunities and, you know, connections to others. So that's not just, hey, I want you to buy my thing, but hey, how can we play together? How can we build a real business relationship that will matter?
Well, through this pandemic, we kind of have this opportunity now to actually create new lifelong relationships. Do you agree?
It's so incredible. You know, I get to see people and I hear from them all the time with testimonials about, oh my gosh, I got to meet the most amazing people. And we started to think about it with my COO, Mr. Johnny Reed. So with we were talking about it just the other day, is how incredible it is that we can bring together the people that I've known, that we both brought to the table to create this kind of, not even just a social media platform, right? This goes beyond that. This is about connecting the people like we both know, speakers, incredibly influential, right? Authors, coaches, trainers. These are the people that we started with and that we're continuing to bring in that people get to meet. I mean, I wish I had that back in the day when I was just, a little networker out there, trying to figure out how to, grow my business.
Well, isn't it true that virtually every one of those categories you just mentioned, speakers, authors, trainers, coaches, I mean, you talk about somebody who's been tremendously impacted by this pandemic,
Huge.
By everything that's going on. And so you've kind of given them a fresh path.
Yes. I know. I started the Public Speakers Association way back in 2013, 2012, something like that. And I see all of my friends, right? Even for myself, we're used to jumping on a plane and going someplace and having fun and getting connected to a whole audience. And that stopped abruptly back in March, right? I mean, you and I were just talking to a guy from Canada, and he's like, if I go any place, he has a 2-week sticking into his basement quarantine. I mean, who can function that way? So with BeeKonnected, it was an easy, very simple aspect of how can we connect people, especially right now when they feel like, how do I connect to somebody? How do I connect to an audience? Well, there's people that are already out there like that.
Yeah, well, I think that's that kind of the continuation of that. They've been told to socially distance,
Yes.
which is why I make it a point to say physical distance as opposed to, we're social beings.
Yes.
We need that social interaction, and BeeKonnected allows that, kind of on steroids, right?
Yeah, it was so cute. One of the members the other day, she wrote something on Facebook, and she's like, oh my gosh, I get to meet the most coolest people. And I always thought that about myself, right? Not myself, but the people I get to meet. They are some of the most, not just influential and, very successful, but really nice people that want to help beyond themselves, right? And I think that's what people are really hungry for. It's not just, I want to connect with somebody, but how do I create real momentum by helping somebody else? It's kind of the Zig Ziglar quote you love, right?
Yeah, so much. Obviously filming her out of Dallas, you can have everything in life you want when you help enough other people get what they want, right? And I know that you follow that as well. But hopefully everybody's seeing your personality come out, the fun that you have in really being of service to people. That's a big part of it as well, isn't it?
The win-win scenarios, I've never understood why people didn't think of how much fun you can have by helping somebody else. So I was just talking to a lady the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh, you need to know this person, this person, this person. And she's like, well, how can I help you? And that's what I never understood over and over again. And from all the years I've owned business networking groups, the Public Speaker Association, is why people didn't help somebody. Why they were just more focused on their own personal gain than other people's. Because I always found it was so much more beneficial to help somebody else, because it always comes back to you in tenfold.
Yeah, absolutely. So BeeKonnected is fun, right?
Yes.
It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Simple.
How does it get better than that?
Free trial, of course.
Free trial. Well, okay, free rhymes with me. It must be good for me, right?
I love that.
So again, you've developed just an amazing system to connect business professionals, entrepreneurs, small business owners, home-based business owners. Who's this all for?
Well, even when you start looking at how to keep it simple, how to make it more impactful, when you start putting together, well, how simple is this? You just simply, the hardest part, is really about yourself, putting your profile together. oh, you don't know enough about yourself? Come on, that's the hardest part. And the rest of it is just who do you want to connect with? Well, we created it so you don't even have to think about who to look for.
Right.
The algorithms, the artificial intelligence, one of the most amazing thing, again, it comes down to relationships, is the COO, Mr. Johnny Reed. So he has so many people in his back pocket from all the years of business he's been involved with and growing these huge companies that we knew exactly who to contact that to make the artificial intelligence and the algorithms and all the things that we go like, what? Make that all happen. So you just hit a button, poof, there you go. 6 people immediately that the algorithm is saying, this is the right person for you. So you don't have to think about it. You just push a button.
So how long does it take between the time I push the button and I get 6 new prospects?
Seconds. Not even seconds.
Nanoseconds.
Nanoseconds.
Wow. So, and then we have that opportunity to explore their profile, right? We can actually get to learn and meet people that are there purposely to do business together.
Exactly. So everyone's kind of made an agreement that they're there for a win-win. So that when you're connecting someone, and I always warn people a little bit, don't overthink the connection, because the system, the algorithms, the AI is telling you this person is right for you. And what happens to me a lot is I would go and I would connect to somebody, and they, before they would even talk to me, decide if I was the right person for them to talk to. Who do I know? Well, it's the same thing for you. I mean, how many people do you know, Scott?
A few. Yeah.
I mean, some really intelligent, incredible people like your audience, I'm sure, here today. These are people that are amazing, that people need to know. It's about connections, right?
It's so fundamental that people don't look past their own world sometimes, right?
Yes.
And they're not looking at their own connections. I feel tremendously blessed. I remember back when we first met, way back when, and I tell the story often, I came off stage and you said, hey, you're pretty good. And jokingly I said, well, tell people. And you went, I will. And I went, what? It was such a shock to me, but you did. And that's really the fun of BeeKonnected, right?
Well, and that's always been the fun part for me. It's almost, when you do something good for somebody else, how you get that little excitement in your belly, in your heart. It helps your heart stay strong. And to me, that is the real kind of driving force for BeeKonnected and for people that are in our membership, is how do you help some others build their business and beyond? You just don't even know where it's going to end up. What is going to happen? Who knows? You haven't talked to that person yet.
Yeah, everything isn't linear in business, certainly.
Right.
I tell the story. Sometimes people say, how were you able to get on some of the big stages and do that? And I share the story. I won't share the whole thing here, but 10 years earlier, I did a favor for somebody. 5 years later, I saw them again. 5 years later, they had the opportunity to make the decision. I was a 10-year overnight sensation.
Exactly.
Well, and isn't that the way it works, right? Now, one of the other things that I think is so fascinating about BeeKonnected is it's permission-based and there's a rating system.
Yes.
Help us understand that a little bit.
So when I started looking at the whole thing in the beginning, I went to Mr. Reed and I said, okay, this is what I'm looking at, is how can we keep out the spammers and the trolls? Because I know I'm beautiful, but I don't want to date you. I'm married. I've been married for 30 years. Stop asking, right?
Yeah.
It's like we're so tired of that constant barrage of buy my thing. I know you just met me, but buy it. Or, hey, I want to date you. I mean, get over it. So we're like, how do we kind of eliminate that? And we took what's happening out in the marketplace right now where people rate each other. It keeps people very honest. And so after a meeting, you just simply rate somebody from 1 to 5 stars. The 5 stars, the 4 and 5 stars pull up more into algorithms. So now we're focused on helping people who do well and help each other really pull up into the market, right into the database. The 1s and 2s, we have a little conversation with, right? Because sometimes people don't really realize that they're coming across the wrong way. And sometimes just simply telling them makes a huge difference long term.
I think that's what is so fascinating, and is kind of a self-policing community that has such a desire to serve each other and lift
Yes.
each other up through all of this. I know that there was I was looking on one of the 900-pound gorilla business platform the other day, and there was a woman that posted, and it said in all caps, "Attention men, just because I accept your connection request does not then give you permission to ask me on a date." Well, the post itself is one of those where you kind of think about it and you go, that's got to be pretty unique, right? 22,834 people responded to that post.
Yeah, I believe
I can't imagine that. I mean, it's almost a little bit of mind numbing. The numbers of people seeing it are great, but for not the exact right reason, right? and isn't that what we're working to do, is really help people make the connections they need to move their business, their life forward?
Because I think people, we don't have the time to waste anymore. We've got to be focused. And so it really is about, doing intentional business with people that are already like-minded.
Oh, I love that.
Right? And so when you come onto the platform and you're connecting with somebody, you already know that they've made a decision to be on BeeKonnected to do business. And it doesn't mean just to buy your thing. It could just be, I want to help promote you on my social platform. I want to send out an email for you. I want you on my TV show or my, whatever. I want you to speak at my virtual summit. One of the ladies, she's so incredible. She was like, oh my gosh, Tonya, I've already been offered for 2 summits that she's like, I would have never gotten in any other ways. And she was on with like Les Brown and some huge names. And she's like, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. So it's exciting to see when things like that is really happening, not just talking about it happening, but really happening, right?
Yeah, a fresh new place to be able to find new connections in a much greater way. Now, the thing that's fascinating to me, this is just the United States, right?
No, I mean, we just launched in September.
That was tongue-in-cheek, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. 25 countries. It's kind of overwhelming. Someone asked me the other day, they're like, how in the world did you do 25? And I'm like, people know people. And when they find something exciting that they want to share, they share. It's not rocket science.
That is the exciting part, and I know that there's some great folks in Australia and the UK and Sweden and South Africa and just places, and you sit and you go, gosh, I don't really have to get on an airplane to travel. Maybe I could do business virtually now. Mm-hmm. The pandemic has certainly changed the way we do business.
Yeah, and especially when the other day, a lady was like, oh my gosh, she goes, I was able to connect and start building my database in Australia. One of her lifelong dreams is to do business in Australia. And I'm like, this is the perfect time to take these opportunities so that when we do get to travel, then you've already built a whole relationship already. You built a database.
Well, isn't that one of the other parts of BeeKonnected, is you could actually search by geography, right?
Geography, really anything, career, whatever you're looking for. Are you looking for people local to you? Are you looking for people international that do business internationally, do business locally? You can really fine tune who you're looking for.
It sounds like it's just absolutely perfect for the pandemic.
It's exciting. It really is. And because you know why? Because it's the people.
Yeah.
It's the people like your audience. It's the people that have true intention to help, and that are amazing themselves. That's the point, is that everybody brings some really cool things to the table. And to see that happening is just, it makes me so blessed.
That's awesome. Well, it's awesome to think about the folks that, one of the things that I've noticed going on social media these days is there's far more people on social media because they're trapped. They're kind of, whether quarantined officially or have changed their work style, so they're not sitting in an office, so nobody's, looking over their shoulder. So there's so many more people on social media today. It seems like there's this tremendous amount of noise that it's hard to break through. Yeah. So again, it seems like BeeKonnected would potentially be an answer to that as well. Is that true?
Well, if you look at, because social media is very noisy, but people listen to people that they love and respect, and they're listening for a reason. So if I was out there and I'm trying to connect to somebody to grow my business, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Scott's got a great amount of connections. When he talks, his audience listens. And so it's the same thing with anybody in BeeKonnected. They've got an audience, no matter how huge or how small. They've got an audience that when they say something, they'll listen. So it's about both of you coming together and saying, let's trade audiences. Let's help each other. And that way, when you talk and you say, oh my gosh, Tonya is so amazing, then people go, wow, she must be really amazing. And when I do the same for you, the same thing happens. So we both help each other grow our databases and find new clients and just by the connection and relationship.
As you were saying that, it reminded me of who will be one of our guests actually next week, Mark Victor Hansen, one of the co-creators of Chicken Soup for the Soul. But Mark used to say 1 + 1 = 11, right? The synergies that are coming together have got to be pretty phenomenal at a time where that kind of opportunity needs to exist. You got to kind of find new places to do business, right?
Yeah, you have to go beyond what's normal nowadays. When you see something happen, and it doesn't matter if it's small or large, sometimes people don't realize the smallest opportunities become the largest. And so take every opportunity, but be smart about it. So center yourself around the people that you really want to do business with, that have the same likes and the dislikes, and with those people who are tired of the trolls and the spammers. You have something to relate with.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt the rating system, what a great self-policing mechanism, but also the fact that there's a proactive nature from BeeKonnected to help to try to educate people. Because like you said, sometimes, I know that I've said it in audiences many times, raise your hand if you don't know what you don't know, right? And a lot of people raise their hand. They just don't know. So they don't even realize that maybe their approach is not exactly the way it should be. Right.
Well, and you look at who do we bring in mostly from the very beginning. It was mostly these incredible coaches and trainers and speakers that could change people's lives. They're right here for everyone to actually just jump in there and talk to. So if if anyone is having struggles, this is the time for you to say, hey, I need some help. Who can I have help me, right? And reaching out. And if you still don't get connected to the right person, guess what? They probably know somebody that can help you.
That's the thing that I've found is reaching out. And they used to say the 6 degrees of separation, right? You're only 6 people away from somebody you'd like to meet. Mm-hmm. I think BeeKonnected is like flattened that curve. Let's use one of the newest terms, right?
Yeah.
I think the curve has been flattened to 1 degree in many cases, right?
Yeah, it's just, you don't know really who it is until you have conversations. So many people are like, I just want everything to happen without a conversation. Where does that happen? To me, it's fun to explore who somebody is and what they've done and what they're doing now and how they can help me. How can I help them? And it may be their business. It may be someone that they're connected to. You open the door and you explore. Have fun at having an adventure nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. The opportunity to really get to share who you are, what you do, kind of what you've accomplished. Mm-hmm. And as much as anything, kind of what you need from this point going forward, right?
Exactly.
I think that, like our audience members here, I've been very blessed to do a lot of different events for quite a few years now. Some of us more mature folks, that's code word for old or older, right? We've had those experiences, and in doing that, we've met so many people across so many different areas, and it's so rewarding to help them achieve their dreams, their wants, their desires.
Well, and you have to ask, what is it? What is someone's desires? What is their dream? You know, you got to dive in and actually have real conversations that go beyond with, what do you do? Here's what I do, right? It's got to be more, you know. Don't be afraid of actually exploring building relationships, building friendships, because how long have we known? And I think we immediately became friends. I don't think there was a second that we weren't friends.
No.
It seems like we were like suddenly put together to be put together. And I think that's the exciting part, is to build real friendships so that when you call them up, people are like, oh, I know that person, not maybe, you know. Build real relationships so that you can go, wow, I love that person.
Well, I think that especially at a time like this, we're in a place where a lot of people the sky's falling, it's continuing to fall, the glass is not only half empty, it's almost completely empty, all that, or it's, wow, there's so many new, fresh opportunities. I can't believe that, I'm not spending the money I used to rent facilities.
Yeah.
Right? So all of a sudden I move things virtually, or not everybody, right? There's a lot of people that could use the help to re-engineer.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure there are many in the audience here today that are, gosh, I really need that help.
Yes.
Even
us, right? We didn't do this alone.
True.
Right? When we first started, Mr. Reed brought in the people that he was incredibly connected to do our back end, to do the algorithms, to do our videos and website. And it's all incredible because of his relationships for over 30 years of really growing huge businesses. Ours and yours and my relationships with people that we built long-term relationships, so that when we went and said, hey, would you like to be part of BeeKonnected? And they were like, yeah, who wouldn't? That's what it's about. It's going beyond that. When we brought in the people to do different coaching programs and things, bringing in people to do the funnels, and this isn't just you and I and Mr. Reed. This is about growing it together with real experts in their area. It's so, so important not to do things by yourself.
Yeah, your relationships have been so strong for so many years. You've brought together a truly amazing team in a very quick period of time. And what I find fascinating is the team members, really to a person, are saying, boy, am I glad I'm part of a team. I've been the Lone Ranger for a long time. Really good, been a really good Lone Ranger, but now I'm part of a team that's coming together as a cavalry.
Even for myself, I have to admit, Mr. Reed is my yang to my yin, right? Because he's the Marine, he's the structure, and I'm more the creative. You have to look at, how do you balance yourself in business? How do you bring people around you that helps you move forward quickly? And I think that's why a lot of people stay where they are, because they try to do everything themselves. And a lot of it is just about finding the right person for you, right? The right person that makes you go, wow, I love that they brought that to the table,
Again, a lot of times when I coach intuitively. So you said something there, and it was like the yin to the yang. But if you're the Lone Ranger, there's no yang. You're just the yin. I mean, wait a second. That's not the way it's designed, is it?
Right.
I mean, there's supposed to be at least two probably in every situation. But I swear, I hadn't thought about that until just now.
Well, even when you have, like, I've been married for 30 years. My husband is not like me. Who can relate to that one, right?
Yeah.
There is some balancing, because it's all about that, who brings what to the party, and is it too much of a good thing? Sometimes you need the opposite so that it balances it out. It's just part of it.
I mean, that whole concept is just fascinating to me, that that one missing piece might be so close, really at the touch of a button.
Yes.
You could have it within nanoseconds. Would that be cool?
That would be totally cool.
That'd be so cool to be able to do that. Well, it sounds like you designed this just for this time in our world right now.
Yeah, and I have been thinking about it forever, because I kept seeing this most incredible, coolest, funnest cool to see people that you're like, oh, if everyone could know you, you could really make a huge dent in this world. You could really help a lot of people. But there was just a missing link. And I'm so grateful when I told my idea to Mr. Reed. He was like, this is a big business idea. This is a great idea. And he came on board, and everything else is history, right?
It's amazing. So where do you see BeeKonnected going in the near term, a year from now?
Where's it not going to go? I mean, we're already in 25 countries.
That's a good point.
It's just about bringing in more and more amazing people that really bring something to the table. So the people that are really looking for that, like you said, that extra person, that other person that kind of helps level them out. It's exciting. So yeah, we're looking at 1 million people in a year, and we probably will surpass that. So it's exciting times to see that movement.
So it's not about replacing the social medias that are out there. It's not an either or. It's really a both and.
Exactly.
Right? You can utilize what you have to date with a new, fresh, exciting system that is very purposeful. It's intentional, right? We want to do business because we want to really kind of kickstart the economy again, right?
And kickstart our own economy, right?
Right.
Everybody should be looking at, how can they make a dent for themselves today and for somebody else.
Well, that's the part that I just read an article the other day, and I think it said that 29% of business owners are now also responsible for homeschooling, home care, home this, home that, whatever the case might be. In other words, they took 29% more day. Maybe you need to create a day stretcher.
That would be totally awesome. I'll start working on that right now.
Yeah, start working on that one. But I mean, it's absolutely amazing. The fun, the simplicity, doesn't that equate to speed and help with BeeKonnected as well?
Yeah, that's the whole point, is if you eliminate talking to people who are there just to spam you, that are just there for their own purpose, and you get to people that's win-win scenarios, now you just collapse time. It's incredible.
That's awesome. I mean, what a great opportunity at just the right time to look at taking back control now that you've maybe had a little reset and a little time to reflect on your business and reflect on things and see maybe there's some room for some, new and greater fun and simple methods.
Yeah, and also, challenge yourself. If you're like, well, I'm not good at talking to people or not, this is the time. Whatever your, lacks are, just head them right into it, because these are people that are really there that aren't going to judge you if you're not perfect. Who's perfect?
No, it's a great time and a great opportunity. Thank you so much for being here. It's so much fun to talk. Really excited about BeeKonnected. Now, you said something about a free trial?
Yes, we just launched it. We're so excited to offer a free trial for everyone so they can jump in, have fun, and connect right away.
Sounds like a great opportunity. So thank you, everybody, for joining us here today. Really appreciate it. Would love for you to take a look. Go to bkfreefor3.com. Take a look at BeeKonnected. Get yourself hooked up, ready to go. Scott Schilling here. Thank you for joining me. Look forward to seeing you again next week.
Connections are the lifeblood to grow your business, but current times have made quality connections hard to find, if not impossible. This is why BeeKonnected created the Connection Generator, a highly sophisticated, powerful search engine algorithm that will completely revolutionize the way you network and accelerate your results. Now you can experience the Connection Generator for free. Once set up, instantly the Connection Generator delivers the right people for your business using its proprietary artificial intelligence matchmaking technology. Think of it like dating software, but for the business world. We just changed the questions. Instant messaging, multiple ways to connect, and a 5-star user-generated rating system creates an experience that eliminates spam and wasted effort without ever leaving your home or office. During your free trial, you'll see the connection generator is super simple to use. In fact, people from all backgrounds and industries, from CEOs to entrepreneurs to work-at-home moms, use the connection generator to find their ultimate business connections. When you sign up for your free trial offer, you'll discover the connection generator scans industry, geographic location, and even target audiences to match you to the very best of the best, to include highly successful leaders just like you. So if you're ready to start leveraging technology, you're just a click away from activating your free trial and instantly connecting to exact matches just for you. Once you're a member, best of all, we can show you how to qualify for free continuing membership. It's our way of saying thanks for being a part of BeeKonnected. So what are you waiting for? Click now and get started today for free.